What is up everybody, I hope you're all good. My name is Peter and I thought I'd just do a quick little video where I go over my thoughts on the announcements we've seen in the recent Pokemon Presents, presentation. As a quick disclaimer, I'm currently not as big of a Pokemon fan as I used to be, and haven't really been following the series that much lately compared to when my 12-year-old self was obsessed with it, but I found the presentation's announcements interesting enough to have a little talk about it all. So, without further ado, let's get into it. First up, we have the announcement of Pokemon Smile. I think it's safe to say that the likes of myself, and potentially anybody else that watches this channel, are not really the target demographic for this. Mr. Ichihara himself straight up said that the purpose behind it was to help children specifically. I do think it's interesting that they're making a whole game based around brushing your teeth, however, despite how bizarre of an idea I think it is. Obviously, because I'm not a little kid anymore, I can't really say for certain if a Pokemon themed app would be the thing that persuades me to brush my teeth more if it was an activity I hated, but who knows. I guess parents could experiment with their own kids and see how it goes. In fact, let me know if any of you watching this video right now have kids of your own, and tell me, after trying Pokemon Smile out, did it work for your kids? I'm kind of curious to hear what you have to say, now that I mention it. Another new title that has been announced for mobile devices, as well as the Switch on top of that, is Pokemon Cafe Mix. It looks like it's continuing the trend of the several Pokemon puzzle games we've seen during the 3DS's lifespan, so it makes sense to carry it on, I suppose. If it's free, I'm considering playing the Switch version for a future stream just to see what I think of it, as it could be a fun time. I do like how instead of it simply being a match the symbol sort of puzzle, there's also a whole build your own cafe side to it, so we'll have to see if this combination works well. Now for what I think is the highlight of the presentation, and the main reason why I wanted to do this video: new Pokemon Snap. After years of fans begging for a new entry in the peculiar N64 spin-off, it's finally here, and my goodness, it looks fantastic. I know that there's different developers behind this game, but personally for me, it does look closer to what I'd hope a Pokemon game would look like on Switch. And as somebody who sits in that crowd of those that weren't the biggest fans of how Sword and Shield looks aesthetically, this is more like it. Furthermore, seeing as I've never played the original, I'm actually really interested in seeing how this new one turns out, as it could potentially be my first Snap experience if it excites me enough. Hopefully they've thrown in some creative uses of the Switch's hardware for this one, perhaps using the gyro controls to aim your camera. I'm also a fan of how this doesn't just look like a straight up remaster of the original as well, because it features Pokemon from all 8 generations, so it's going to be interesting to see the different combinations of interactions between various Pokemon species that will be shown throughout. We also saw the release of the Isle of Armor DLC pack for Pokemon Sword and Shield. As somebody who didn't bother getting Sword and Shield, I still don't think I'm exactly convinced to get it, so I'm generally neutral on this piece of news. Due to this, I feel this isn't something that I can really comment on in enough detail, so if any of you out there are playing Sword and Shield, let me know what you think of the Isle of Armor. Another announcement that doesn't really apply to me that much is the new inclusion of Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Go. I've never actually played Go before, because I've never had the right mobile device to be able to, but I suppose it's a nice update for those that are still playing it. They do exist, trust me. I'm not exactly up to date on which generation the game has gone up to at this point, but it looks like the 6th generation is getting some love as a result of Mega Evolutions being thrown in. Towards the end of the presentation, Ishihara teased another announcement incoming in the next week, and I think it's safe to say that it's going to keep the Pokemon community guessing. Seeing as this time of year would have been when E3 would have occurred, I imagine this announcement was supposed to be shown there if it hadn't got cancelled. Many are already speculating that it could potentially be the frequently requested Diamond and Pearl remakes, which could very well be a possibility, but if not, what else? Some of my personal predictions include either a brand new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon with a new story due to its recent revival with the Rescue Team DX remake we saw earlier this year, or even another remake of the next title in the series. There's another idea which I think is rather unlikely, but maybe it could be a new Pokemon being the next fighter in the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass after ARMS. But then again, I don't see that happening in a presentation dedicated to Pokemon. I just thought the idea would be worth mentioning. Other random but unlikely ideas include a new Pokemon Rumble, more Sword and Shield DLC, Sword and Shield sequels, Generation 9? Okay, that last one is ridiculous, I'll admit. It's way too soon. But overall, we'll have to see what the future of Pokemon has in store for us. It's a franchise that I've kind of lost interest in recent years, but the Snap announcement from the presentation now has me a bit more intrigued in what else there is on the way. Maybe if I see more news like this that I can get behind, perhaps I can regain my status as a Pokemon fan. Anyway, that just about does it for this video. I know it was a quick one that I'll admit was rather rushed, but I just wanted to talk about it to be honest. Let me know what you thought of the presentation, as well as your favourite announcement. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see you later.